The prevalence of sickle cell trait ranges between 10 to 45% in various parts of sub-Saharan Africa. Nigeria is situated in West Africa, where it occupies an area of about 924,000 square kilometers. In Nigeria, carrier prevalence is about 20 to 30%. Sickle cell disease affects about 2 to 3% of the Nigerian population of more than 160 million. Sickle cell anemia is an inherited red blood cell disorder in which there aren't enough healthy red blood cells to carry oxygen throughout the body. In sickle cell anemia, the red blood cells are shaped like sickles or crescent moons. These rigid sticky cells can get stuck in small blood vessels, which can slow or block blood flow and oxygen to parts of the body. Periodic episodes of pain called pain crises are a major symptom of sickle cell anemia. Here is Turanyo Adenle, a 40-year-old sickle cell survivor.
I'm Turanyo Adenle, born about 40 years ago. I was born into a polygamous family, and unfortunately we have 3 people living with sickle cell disease. And by the special grace of God, I'm the only surviving warrior amongst them.
So what are sickle cell anemias? They are anemias that result from the sickling of the blood cells, the red blood cells. Now that occurs because there has been a mutation, that's like a change in a particular protein, and hence when 2 people who carry that change get married together, they have the tendency to give birth to a patient or a child with sickle cell disease. And the anemia that occurs from that disease is known as sickle cell anemia.
Living with sickle cell disease has been full of ups and downs. You know, there are a lot of challenging moments, pains, disappointments, fears, anger, grief, anxiety, and all those stuff. But unfortunately, I know God has always gotten my back. There was a particular moment when I was a bit young. I was in crisis, and I was, it was this kind of a lengthy crisis. And on a particular night that I was able to sleep and have a respite from pain, I have like this kind of a trance, let me call it. And I saw myself in between heaven and earth, like floating. And I saw that angel telling me to go back, that it is not yet my time. I'm not afraid of dying. And I keep telling my mom, when my mom was alive, when I said that, she was always like, what is your problem? But I know that we will all die one day. The only thing I'm afraid of is the pain. I don't like that pain, because when it comes, it just obstructs all your plans and, program. I never for one thought that I won't last till this day, And I'm even bargaining that maybe when I'm 80, I'll start thinking of when I want to live. Because the oldest woman that actually live with sickle cell disease in Nigeria died at 95. Yeah, she died at 95 this year, February. So if somebody can live up to 95, what stops me? Anytime I want. But I know that's not anytime soon. Over time, I've built like a strong muscles, over time. So when it comes knocking, I know that, it's time for me to relax. There's always a positive side to something if you can only do better. I know that if not for sickle cell disease, I probably might not be this patient. I probably might not appreciate family values. But because of this, it makes me to be more patient, to be more appreciative of, every single day I get to see. But one day like that, it will always come knocking with its challenges, and, unannounced at the time you least expect. One day like that, I was just coming from work, this is myself that drove myself to work and back. But unfortunately, when I got home, I couldn't just, get down from the car. My leg were just hurting. I tried getting down, And the following day I went to the clinic. It was about 23 years after the first episode that I had. I got tired of the pain because I got to a stage where I was living daily on pain medications. I was living daily because before I could sleep in the night, I had to take strong pain meds, and I have to support myself with pillow because I can't afford to just, roll on the bed anyhow. So one day I just woke up and I started searching the internet. That was the solution to, AVN, and I saw that the only lasting respite solution I could get is doing a surgery. When I announced to my family that I wanted to go for a surgery, they were like, "Are you kidding?" But I've always had this strong mindset that no matter what comes, I'll always come out, as a warrior, as a winning warrior at that. The surgery was successful, and my speedy rate was fast. Even my surgeon confessed that, the grace of God over your life is exceptional. Malaria triggers, infection triggers. So that's why you have to maintain a high level of hygiene at every point in time so that you can avoid infection as much as possible. Then for me, I discovered that emotions triggers my crisis. Sometimes anxiety, fear, sadness, so over time I've learned to build a wall around myself, and then people has termed me mean because I don't really express emotions again, because I know that it is not good for me. So those are the things that do triggers crisis. The last time I was on admission, maybe like 2 years ago, I think that was in 2017, so that's like 3 years now. It was a very hard one for me, but now I've not really had any admissions. Most times, I can manage myself at home. Most times I've known some symptoms and I've known what I can use. Then I can call my doctor to talk to him. Talking about relationships, it's a long story. I've had my own fair share of disappointment from guys, because the moment they hear about the word sickle cell, they just take to their leave. The misconception about sickle cell disease is a death sentence, and then they don't live long. And the majority of the men, they're always scared about their finances, because sickle cell disease is a very expensive disease to live with. So on a fateful day like that, I was just at work, and my long lost friend just bumped into me in the office, and we were talking and gisting. Before long, we were dating. So one day we were just discussing, and he was like, "Oh, Turanyo, I know your genotype. You just don't have to hide anything from me." And I was like seriously? And he said yes. Then that brings us to the big question: what's your own genotype? And he told me, with all confidence, that I'm AA. I said, "Oh, you're AA." And we went for tests, and we had 4 conflicting results. One is saying AA, another one is saying AS. So, but for me, I know that I'm not going to take that AA, I'm taking that AS. A couple of times we tried to part and go differently, but we always find that we are always coming back together. So until one day he just said that, I think he read something about, genotype selection through IVF and the prenatal diagnosis. But unfortunately, we couldn't really afford the, pre-genotype selection. That's quite expensive, So I went, we went to Lagos to Sickle Cell Foundation Nigeria to discuss with them there. And they said, well, there's a relative chance for us, since there's 1A to donate. So that is how we decided to go ahead with the relationship. But there are lots of, objection from family and friends. My mom was a bit scared that, she wouldn't allow me to go ahead with the relationship, because of her experience. I don't blame her anyway, but my dad was supportive. He is more of a open-minded person. He was like, he knows that there's a lot of improvements in science and technology in these days. So if it is possible for us to explore that area, then why not? So that was how we went ahead with the relationship, and then eventually we got married. And then few months, like 4 weeks or thereabouts into the marriage, on a particular day, I was just going somewhere and I was in the car and I was listening to a radio interview. They are talking about genotype compatibility. And then they were just making a lot analysis of the results. And I was like, Turanyo, you have done a very stupid thing. How could you have done this thing now? With all this analysis you are hearing, as if you don't know about them already. And I was, I was scared to my bone marrow, and I had good pimples all over me. But shortly, I just had that voice. I just had that voice loud and clear. I was the only one in the car, so there was nobody that could have said. So I know that was God talking to me. I just had that voice say to me that I will confound the wise with the foolish things of this world. And I hold on to that word. So that gave me more confidence. I got pregnant, and we went to Lagos because the test is always carried out in the first trimester, about 10 to 12 weeks of the pregnancies. And we did the test, we came back to Ibadan, and we were told to wait for 2 weeks. Believe me, that 2 weeks was like, I was waiting for 2 years, but I was just holding on to God. I was drawing strength from my inner man. And then to the glory of God, the result came out, and the result was AA. So I was just excited, and I had strength to pull through the pregnancy. And to the glory of God, I had my baby on December 25th. That was Christmas Day, so it was the best Christmas gifts anyone could ever had. So that was my marriage and my first baby story. After like 2 years, I was trying to have another baby, but I wasn't just getting pregnant. I've tried like 2-3 years. So at a point, I just said, that one is okay. Let me go back to work, because I had to leave work for mother. Let me go back to work and start build my career again. So I've been talking to one of people about going back to business, and one day in 2019, I think August, I just discovered that my period was late. I was like, what's wrong? I told my husband. He said I should do the pregnancy test, and the pregnancy results came out positive. Not quite long, maybe after like 5 weeks into the pregnancy, I started falling sick. I was just falling sick. I couldn't really know. Every of my medications wasn't working. My body was just working against itself. My body was just rioting inside, and I had to go and see my doctor. I explained to her, and then I was on hydroxyurea, and then the way the hydroxyurea works is that it helps in the hemoglobin factor, which reduces your crisis. And anytime you are trying to get pregnant, it's always advised that you stop the hydroxy like 3 months before you can conceive. But in my case, I wasn't planning pregnancy, so I was on hydroxyurea before the pregnancy came. In the early pregnancies, there's little or no drug they can even give you because of the baby you are carrying. So I just kept going. And then, when I called the Sickle Cell Foundation in Lagos, they asked for my Sickle pattern, and I told them. So the date they gave me for the test fell on my birthday. Sent the result to my husband, and the result wasn't fine. When I saw his countenance, I knew that something was wrong, and I asked him that what was the result, and he told me that, oh, the baby is SS. I had to make an instant decision of evacuating the baby. Now getting the evacuation done now seems to be a problem, because every professional I was talking to in Ibadan, were afraid. They don't know what to do because of the peculiarity of my body, of the fragile nature of my body. So they were like, no. But at a point, I got to meet somebody that got sense, and I did the evacuation like 3 days later, and I was still very sick. So now one has been down, the other had to go. So I had to concentrate on getting better, and then stuff like that. And then to the glory of God, my recovery was speedy. 3 weeks after, the children has gone to school. I said children because sometimes in 2018 I took in a teenage girl, and then so I was just sitting at home that day, and I just had that voice tell me that you have to help others. He said, share your story. And that was how the foundation was battered. The foundation was battered out of pain, out of challenges, out of my down moments. So that was how the foundation was battered. Within 48 hours, we have over 100 membership, and it's like a small community, where we share our pains, our burdens, our coping strategies, and we lend helping hand. Sometimes when anybody's down, we tax ourselves, we pay hospital bills for such a person like that. And if anybody has, a complication, we share ideas. Oh, this is what I do, or we can probably refer to one or two medical personnel for them to get adequate and prompt medical attention. So that is how the foundation was battered. The name of the WhatsApp group is called Sickle Moms, but now it has grown so big and it has metamorphosed into a proper foundation that we called Sickle Women International Foundation. And we have over 200 people on board right now. So what we do is we empower women living with sickle cell disorder to make them have a fulfilled and purpose-filled life, so that they can give back to the society at large. Okay, I would like to encourage everyone, especially the women living with sickle cell. So I would like to encourage the women out there that you can do it. When it is time to rest, you rest. When it is time to go on, you go on. You are not in competition with anybody. Move at your pace. Move at your pace. When you are sick, it's time for vacation. I call it vacation. It's time for vacation. Enjoy your vacation. And when you're back to your feet, keep moving. You can achieve anything. You can achieve anything only if you can put your mind. I know it could be very challenging. It could be difficult, but we all have to maintain the positive mindset. With God, we can be whatever we want to be. I'd like to do a special thank you to my people. They've been very amazing. I've got a very good family support. Without them, I can do nothing. My dad is super amazing. He's my superhero. And my mom, she was such a strong woman. She's a strong woman. May God bless her soul. I lost her just about a month ago. And she was an amazing woman. And my siblings, they are fantastic. Anytime, despite the fact I'm married, anytime I call upon them, they rise up to the occasion. They rise up to the occasion. And to all the supporters and all the well-wishers and the contributors to the foundation, I will say thank you. God bless you all.